Imagine having one of the biggest games to come out of the year out of nowhere with no real advertising at all, and your previous game was only about 1,600 players for your loyal fan base. And then imagine your sequel finally, word gets out, and you start growing and growing and growing until you have almost 500,000 people playing your game on PC alone, with probably another 200,000 on console alone. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Helldivers 2, and we're talking about how crazy it was when this game came out to what it is now, with the Escalation of Freedom update and the newest Warbond brought in a lot of problems. Before we begin this video, I just want to say Space Marine 2 is literally coming out in 5 hours, so if you don't see a lot of crazy edits in this, that's my excuse. But I will try to do what I can. Helldivers 2 came out in February, and it feels like, honestly, if you've been playing it since all the updates, it feels like it's been years. It genuinely does feel like a tiring war with everything that's been happening. Coming out, it was probably one of the best games to come out of all time. No, there were issues. Hang on, let me rephrase that. There are definitely issues with this game, even during launch date, but it came out to the point where it was working. In fact, it was so popular that people couldn't get in. They did not expect 500,000 people on PC alone to suddenly want to play this game. And I can almost guarantee that was probably a huge thing to them. They're like, whoa, we did it. We actually fucking did it. We made the most popular game of the year. And not only did they make probably one of the most popular games of the year, people were already saying game of the year because of the impact that it had on the gaming media. Showing us that you can basically monetize a game while still having an upfront cost that people will be willing to pay. The war bonds that come out every couple of weeks was awesome. The first 3 I think were awesome. The Steel Veterans, the one that came out with the game, and the newest, and the Arc one. The Arc one was good. The weapons were good for the Arc one, that's about it. The armor was kind of useless because there's no illuminate, so what do we need arc resistance for? But then the war bonds kept coming, and patches kept coming, and we started to notice something. Every single patch, shit was getting nerfed. And this is where the fallout started to begin. It was tiny. It was very, very tiny. But the community started to notice this company really wanted you to not fucking survive. If there was a gun or a weapon that was being used constantly by everyone, they would nerf it into the fucking ground. Their reason is there's plenty of options to choose from. We don't want you to have a meta build. I can agree to that to a degree. But the way they nerfed that railgun, dude, I'm still fucking mad about that. That is ridiculous. They did buff it a couple months later, but it still doesn't feel the same. We need a weapon that's going to be able to, help us in a dire situation, and the railgun felt perfect for that. Haven't touched it since the buff. Then the next Warbond came out, and it was pretty good. Then we started getting new orbitals. We started getting mechs. The mechs for against bugs was amazing. The mechs against the automatons, useless. Which was really shocking. And then, the biggest thing that ever happened in video game history, Sony started to require a PlayStation Network account. This game was made by Arrowhead, who was being published, or whatever the wording is. Sony is involved. And that's why this game never came to Xbox, hence why I made the video. It's about to make history. I really thought that they were gonna push to put it on Xbox, and according to Phil Spencer, they said no, Phil wanted it on, but then there's other media saying that Arrowhead wanted to, and Xbox said no. Helldivers 2 never came to all consoles. This could have been the game to unite every single platform. It really could have. And they just, one side decided not to. And honestly, to me, a huge mistake. Maybe it would have saved this game, maybe it wouldn't have, we don't know. But in 5 hours, there's a game that's going to do exactly what Helldivers 2 was supposed to do. But I'm getting ahead of myself, mostly because of excitement. But yeah, according to Steam and according to Sony, this was always planned to do this, requiring a PlayStation account. And that's all fine and dandy, I guess, but the fact that you're going to make it mandatory all of a sudden is kind of ridiculous. And not only that, word started to come out. I never knew about this until this game came out and the news was brought up. There's about 170 countries that don't allow PlayStation Network access. Therefore, if you bought this game in one of those countries, this game was going to be locked out for you. So, hell broke loose. Everything went crazy. Valve got involved, and kind of an L thing to do, Valve. Valve immediately region locked everything because of Sony's requirements. Okay, so now all these people that have this game bought it can't refund it because they played it too much. So now they just have a locked game in their system that they cannot touch. Sony went ahead and finally caved in because the game got fucking review bombed. It was crazy. It was worse than Overwatch 2 when it came out because it was in protest. We weren't review bombing because we hated the game. We were review bombing because you're about to take away probably hundreds of thousands of people from being able to play this game, all because you want a fucking Sony account for your Sony security to protect your account. I remember when PlayStation 3 got hacked for months, and it was the worst hack of all time. And the PlayStation 3 got hacked a lot. It was insane. So finally, at the end, they finally caved in and they gave up. They made it optional, period. There's still a problem with Valve locking 170 regions that can't play this game, even without the requirement. And this has not been fixed. It has been months since this happened, and it has still not been fixed. So we have hundreds of thousands of people that can't play this game anymore. And no one seems to care. It's really, really weird. Then, of course, we got the... What was it? We got the Destruction Warbond. I love this Warbond, personally. The crossbow was mid. The heavy armor is amazing. I love it to death. But then, people started to notice, they're like, hey, this content kind of sucks. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like I said, I personally enjoyed it. People were saying that it wasn't that good. And I guess I was under the majority. Arrowhead finally came out and said, we are going to do something different. We are going to slow down on Warbonds because we're pumping them out. It's a live service game. What did you expect you're going to have to do? And we're going to make sure they have better quality and stuff like that. And they were right. It took longer to get the Jungle Warbond, but we did, and I love it. That's my absolute favorite Warbond to this day. The throwing knives are fun. It's not viable, but they're really fun to use. The jungle combat gear is awesome. The increased melee for the passive. New armor passives, forgot to mention that. Before the Jungle Warbond, we've had the same armor passives for the last 5 fucking Warbonds. Thank God. If we had gotten servo-assisted Jungle Bonds, I was going to kill someone. And everything was all fine, well, and dandy. Then all of a sudden, they come out with the Escalation of Freedom update for August. Yeah, August. Wow, it feels like it's been a lot longer. And everything they were showing, we're getting a new enemy. We're getting a bunch of new enemies, actually. There's new content coming, like level 10 Helldive. It was awesome. It seemed really, really good, and that was everything they showed us. And as my buddy Mason mentioned, they don't like to show us everything that comes into the game. Hence, like the escalation of war, we're seeing blue laser beams, we're hearing rumbling, we're hearing roaring in the distance. There's stuff cooking, 100%. So if they showed us all this, I can only imagine what they have in store for us, is what Mason said. Apparently fucking nothing. Now we know this is a live service game and stuff obviously takes time. But it's been a month and a half now, and there is nothing. Oh, wait, sorry. Let me get to the final straw of everybody who played this game. The last Warbond. The Fire Warbond. If you don't know how important this Warbond was supposed to be, you haven't played Helldivers 2, and you don't know the community. Flamethrowers and fire weapons in this game are instant top tiers. People love them. It's amazing. The problem is, though, Helldivers are very flammable. So we've been asking for fire-resistant armor. We would love this. Like, please, you gave us arc-resistant. Can we please have fire-resistant? And they're like, here you go. It's finally here. It was like everything we wanted. There's a primary, a secondary flamethrower, a secondary flamethrower, armor resistance for light and heavy. There's going to be a medium one in the store, I bet. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Get to that. And everything that people wanted. We're like, let's go, yes. And a patch was coming. Fuck. The reason I say that is because every patch, they're still doing this up to this day. Every patch, there's fucking nerfs. Guess what got fucking nerfed? And you'll never fucking believe it. The fucking flamethrower. The fucking main weapon for this whole Warbond got fucking nerfed. 100%. Like, are you insane? Why did you nerf it? According to Arrowhead, they nerfed it because they want it to be more realistic. The nerf was they toned down the damage and it can't go through armor anymore. Fire can't go through armor? That's realistic? And they stuck to their guns and they defended it. Well, I can tell you what happened right here. This is what happened. You are under 10,000 players now because you thought, oh, we're great. We're gonna do this anyway. And review bombs started to come in again. Obviously, the 24-hour peak is still good, but we'll get to that. So, Arrowhead retaliated. We're sorry. We messed up. We are going to work with our team to fix what we did and make this game as enjoyable as possible. You know the worst part about that statement? They said it 4 fucking months ago! The first time they nerfed everything and we were complaining. When the Eruptor lost its shrapnel damage. When everything else just started to suck. When the Tenderizer needed to be buffed. All that stuff. They said the same fucking thing months ago. And they're selling us again. We heard that there was an old CEO that stepped down and a new one was coming in to buff everything. After the first time they said sorry, they did buff everything. The Tenderizer is now a useful fucking assault rifle. 10 out of 10. And I'm so happy because I love that assault rifle in this game. The fucking Eruptor got its damage slightly adjusted. The crossbow is useful now. And all this shit. Why did you nerf again? What the fuck are you doing? So, the worst part about all this, I've worked in website programming before, obviously very, very different from a video game. But they're telling us they can't revert the flamethrower change. They can't just do it like that. It will break stuff apparently. I personally don't believe it. You should always have a backup version of your game before you fucking update it and test it. Why you thought this update was gonna be okay is completely baffling to me. And this is why your game's fucking dying right now. I don't believe that they can't just simply revert the changes. Why would you not have a version of your game ready to go in case the newest version fucking broke? And did anyone test this? Before people kill me in the comments, I know website is very different from game developing. I'm just pulling from my experience. I am not saying they're wrong. I just am strongly against believing we can't just revert this. I feel like you can. You just don't want to. So this is where we are as of today. Arrowhead has promised that they are going to fix everything in the next, they have a plan for the next 60 days. It's been, I want to say, 40 days and flamethrowers still crap, weapons are still crap. It's insane. We've gotten a new orbital. They have really slowed down with content, and in a game like this, where it is super repetitive, that is such a bad thing. Like, it really, really is. And that's why you have less than 10,000 people playing right now, and you've had 22,000 people for your 24-hour peak. Whereas, literally, 3 months ago, you were started to fall. 6 months ago, you were super high up. And then the fucking region lock thing happened, and it's just been a constant decline. I've heard rumors of them saying, apparently the developers are saying, we're gonna see some losses, it's whatever, now the loyal fan base is gonna be here. You still paid all this money for server space for all these people. And if you release a big enough update that people actually come back to your game, I think personally vehicles would save this game because that's not gonna be in Space Marine 2. That might fix it. You might have your player base back, people will have their Helldivers, people will have their Space Marine. It's just insane that you're taking forever. It's like they want this game to die. Are they sick of working on it already? Are they just done? Like, it's really weird. Helldivers are letting the automatons get to Super Earth, and I've never heard of that before. And people are killing each other, people are protesting nonstop, and it is just silent from them. They want this game to die. I am fully convinced they want this game to die. And that's so weird to me, because this made them so much money. Why would you not keep going? You have the live service game that every company wants, that EA wants, that Ubisoft wants. These money-hungry companies. And Arrowhead has it. And now they're like ruining it. This is why, because I know a lot of Helldivers are irritated with Space Marine 2 because they're comparing it. This is why Space Marine 2 is going to put this game in the fucking grave. Because Space Marine 2 is not going to nerf everything. You're a fucking Space Marine. Your gun should only ever be buffed. If they ever nerf anything, then none of these companies have learned anything. And judging from Saber's track record with Horde shooters, World War Z, we are fine. I think we're going to be great, and it's going to be amazing. I have no plans of coming back to Helldivers 2 until they add vehicles. Because until then, it's just a weaker Space Marine. And even when they buffed the weapons, I don't know what to tell you. I think it's way too late. I think they waited way too long, and this is bad. We have already seen a fall off of all Warhammer related games. I know Helldivers isn't Warhammer, but it's just related to it. Like Darktide has fallen off, getting ready. Inquisitor was always dead, even though that's a good game, you should play that. Space Marine 1 has had an increase in people, I believe. Space Marine 1 has literally had an increase in players, people experiencing this before Space Marine 2 comes out. So it's insane to me that this happened. Like, this shouldn't have happened. You had the perfect game. But yeah, I don't see Helldivers 2 coming back until they add something massive, and buffing your guns is not going to be it, because we're going to expect you to nerf them by the next big patch. But anyway, I just wanted to make a really quick rant video on this. Space Marine 2 is coming out in literally 4 hours. I have 4 hours to edit this. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm really excited for Space Marine 2, and I hope you guys really enjoy the look into Space Marine 2 coming out. Gaius has been hard at work, so big shout out to him. He had early access to the game, so he's been helping me write stuff to get ready, because I need to beat the game, and then I can actually start writing what it is. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be on the lookout for a look into Space Marine 2, the ending of the Summer of Warhammer 40k series, and I will see you all next week.